Grab a beer and pull up a chair. Welcome to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. Once again, this is me, the Northwoods Beer Guy, and I am joined by Jim.
Hey, everybody. How you doing out there, especially you, Mike?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Can't complain. And if I would, nobody'd listen anyway.
There you go. So... You know, we're in the fall. We're in the fall. Oh, we're in your basement because...
Again?
Yeah, because, you know, the whole move thing...
kind of disrupted your...
My life is
in boxes.
In boxes right now. So,
totes.
Again, Jim has been kind enough to let me move our mobile studio now down into his basement. And thank you.
I think we sent a picture out last time. Hopefully, everybody saw the 19th hole.
Oh, yeah.
So it's our humble abode, and
even though I don't promote that brand of beer, but I do drink it from time to time, and I
do a nice neon sign.
And you know, it's kind of funny, Jim. I was just telling my wife that I go, you know, it's kind of funny because after we got done, because you were gracious enough to help us move once again, and when we got done, we sat in the gazebo and we were drinking Miller Lite and such, and I go, man, now I can drink a lot of Miller Lite and not even get a buzz going. So it has its place.
It's not bad, but I mean, they do make great signs. And
yes, your neon sign is
the
cool.
picture. It kind of fits right there because we had like this open space there between some Miller beer signs.
Yep,
and it just kind of fits right in there. And
well, it's kind of funny. During the move, I had found I don't even know how many years ago you gave me 3 beer signs.
Okay, yep.
Well, one was Old Milwaukee, one was Pabst Blue Ribbon, and one was, I think, Old Style or something, I think, if I remember right. And it was like, we got to get those up, but they're classic,
right? Yes,
old beer mirrors.
I mean, they still hold their value, and I mean, the beers hold their value, not necessarily the signs, but I mean, they're classics.
And they all have. The one had a gentleman fishing for bass, one had deer on it, and then I can't remember what I'll have to find them and take a picture of them because they're just that classy kind of thing. So
that kind of like rolls us right into what you said. You kind of mentioned, I kind of cut you off. I'm sorry about that, but we're in the fall.
Yep.
And I think our last episode we talked about we were hitting hard
Oktoberfest.
That's right, because I think you can smell it in the air.
Yep.
There's a lot of crops being harvested.
Yeah.
So we're in October.
Yeah.
And what also does that mean?
It means pumpkin.
Oh, baby. There you go.
It is pumpkin time, and one of our first episodes, if you remember, I mean, it was early on.
Yep.
We did a old pumpkin beer because we found we had some in our fridges that were left over. We had vowed we were going to do fresh pumpkin beer.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing this week. And so it'll be interesting, again.
Well, I think we talked about this before, Mike. This is going to be probably, for us, the most unique category because the only commonality is they must have used pumpkin when brewing.
Yeah, as an ingredient.
An ingredient, right. So there's a lot of different... we've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6...
We got 7.
7 different ones.
But looking at them, we've got a lager. We've got a sour. We've got
a stout,
Imperial stouts. We've got barrel
ale.
An ale. We've got it's all across the board. So the commonality is going to be, I guess, what we're going to be looking for is how much pumpkin.
Right. Well, and I think the other part too is we're starting off low ABV.
Yes.
Working away
so this week we start at, what was it? It was like 6.1. Is that the first one?
Yes, 6.1.
6.1, and we end at 10.
Yes. So it's going to be a good night. It's going to be.
There's that one that's like the third from the end there. It looks pretty dark, so I don't know. We'll see what happens there. And
I think the other part is we got different brewers, except we do have 3 from one brewery. But I think it's good because none of these flavors in that one brewery look the same.
No.
They look like they're 3 different flavors.
Exactly. I think they're going to be vastly different.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
Yes, I mean, I'm itching to find out what's in those cans.
Well,
what do you say?
I think let's start with this first one.
All right.
So the first one, we are at Lakefront Brewery, which is in Milwaukee.
Yep.
And this is their pumpkin lager.
Spiced lager.
It says lager brewed with real pumpkin, cinnamon, allspice, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and mace. What is mace? Like spray in the face.
Is that you spray to keep a beer?
I was going to say, I don't know if I like that. The can's got an evil-looking pumpkin on it, kind of. It's cool. So
it says 15 IBU and the 6.1 ABV. Other than
they gave a lot of stuff on the brewery, but
right, it says one of the few pumpkin lagers available in the world. Wow. Now, I guess that's a bold statement. I don't know if that's true. I mean, we don't go back and double check to see if any of this is
right.
I mean, we're just
we don't know if their world means Milwaukee or
right, because I mean, I just printed this from the sales sheet from them. So, I mean, that's what they say. But real pumpkin and pie spice join Munich and caramel malts in our brew house.
Okay.
Then
lager for 4 weeks.
So lager, it's temperature, right?
Yes. It starts a little warmer and then they end up dropping it down.
And come together with all flavors of a lush pumpkin pie.
Huh.
Well, I like pumpkin pie.
Yeah. So I'm sure that'll be interesting to see if we taste all of those, like the pumpkin spice, the cinnamon, the clove, the nutmeg, Well,
that's what I'm wondering if we should try the 2 pumpkin pie ones together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we can do that.
All right, we'll give it a little.
So we're going to.
That's probably our only little taste test tonight is 2 different pumpkin pies.
Yeah, we'll crack
one's a lager, one's a sour. I mean, I'm not prejudiced, but I don't like sours.
Well, now, as the people that our faithful listeners have known, you're getting more and more where you like them and you like IPAs. So it brings a tear to my eye.
Oh my gosh, it does to me too when my stomach convulses. Ooh, I can smell.
You can smell
spice.
The spice.
Yep.
You can taste the spice.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, I don't mind that.
I mean, good job there, Lakefront. I mean, that's
pretty good. Yeah, I mean, sometimes one of the spices overtakes the others.
Right.
This is good. I don't get that at all. I think this tastes like pumpkin pie.
Yeah, the only thing that I don't taste is the whipped cream that I'm putting on top.
That is true. That is true.
So I don't know if they can get both flavors in there at the same time.
It didn't say pumpkin pie with whipped cream lager.
True. That's my fault.
No, that's good. Like I said, it's not over the top at all. The aroma could be a little bit more,
right?
But the flavor is good. I like that.
I mean, the spice. And what's weird is this: you hit the spice on the initial taste, but then it goes away. The finish does not have spice to it.
No, the finish. It's like you take that initial taste, you get the spice, you swallow, gone.
Right.
I mean, it's a little bit. If the aftertaste could last a little bit longer, would be a little better.
I think for a lager though, I think it hits the mark.
Yep.
I mean, it's
color wise looks like a pumpkin beer. I think.
Oh yeah, I mean it's I think in a couple episodes before when we were doing some of the Marzans.
Yep.
I don't even think it's as dark as that one Marzan.
No, not at all. The Spaten one. Yeah. No, not at all. I mean this would have you could have put this in with some of those other Oktoberfest and you probably had a hard time picking it out.
Because, honestly, I think I taste more the spice, though, than I do the pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not 100% sure, but a pumpkin is a little bit sweeter, isn't it? Is that what gives us a sweet? Well, that's what I'm going to get the aftertaste, is that sweetness.
The one thing, I get the cinnamon, kind of get the clove. I don't get a lot of the nutmeg, a little bit, but the allspice is not. We've had other ones that are really strong and all those, and this is more of a subtleness to it.
Right, and I think Lakefront is a little bit bigger brewery.
Yep.
So I don't know if they're appealing to the masses. They're not. They have flavor, but it's not a bold flavor.
Right.
It's not some of those where it's going to like punch in the stomach. This, I would recommend this beer for anybody that's interested in trying a pumpkin beer. I'm not sure about the other ones that we're going to have in line here. This one, if nobody's ever had a pumpkin beer and they want to try something, I would recommend this.
You're 100% right about what you just said there, how a lot of times like a bigger brewery, they got to kind of tone it down a little bit just to try and appease more people or reach more people, I should say. But it's very good. I think it's a good one.
So
I'm hoping that some of these other ones I'm expecting them to have a little bit stronger flavor to them.
Would you want to start off the
Yeah.
Well, and just to remind everybody, so you said, I think in our last episode, you were over 4,500 rated. Mm-hmm. So that's a good number. Yep. So how has that 4,500 shifted your center line, of stars? Or what is still your middle?
Again, because it's on a 5-star system, so to speak, and 2.5 is still average. I think,
but is that still average for you?
Well, the last time I looked, my average score is like a 2.98, so just under 3.
You're getting close to that 4.0 for that.
No. We won't get into that.
So it's actually 2.9. So
yeah,
that means
2.9, just under 3 is kind of all the beers we've had.
Right. So does that mean we've tasted a lot of good beers, or we just haven't rated many that low?
No, I think it means we've tasted more good beers than we've had bad beers.
I would say that
because now we've had some that have been. We've got a number of them that are a 0.5, yeah, that was the absolute worst one. So,
but I mean, I think it's kudos to the craft beer industry that they're doing a great job in brewing very good products.
I agree with you.
Keep up the good work, keep brewing good stuff. I try to say this as much as I can, but it's only my opinion. I'm not the opinion for everybody. I think we're just trying to tell how we taste.
It's like we've said before, there's no wrong opinion. When it comes to craft beers, if you love it, you hate it, whatever, there's not a wrong opinion.
Just try it.
The only thing, what I would say is try it and just keep trying them, because we want to see all these breweries survive.
Succeed.
And, back before craft breweries, I drank, big beers because that's all there was.
Right.
And then I learned that beer is supposed to have flavor. That's the thing that I really like about it, is just the fact that you have all these different flavors, all these different takes on beers. And there's been some really unique beers that we've tried. There's a lot of them that we've had one bottle of it and we've never had it again. But there's also a lot of them that's like, that's my go-to.
Right. I think we talked about this in our last episode, is that a lot of these beers are seasonal. Mm-hmm. So you're only going to get them at a certain period of the year.
You see that a lot with Oktoberfest and Pumpkin for sure.
Right. So I was kind of anticipating. I mean, we had some leftover pumpkin beers that were okay. I can't say they weren't fresh.
The one was very good, though.
Yes, it was. But now at least we have some that we know that were made this year. We bought them. They're here. So, I mean, I think that's kind of, you had the anticipation.
Yep.
Of the fall. Now it's going to be the Marzons, Oktoberfest, pumpkins, which is a good thing. And then as soon as they finish these, Christmas beers.
Oh yeah,
right.
You get your winter beers, your Christmas ales. You got your winter warmers.
So I mean, so it's like you're always anticipating the next release of a brewery for their beer. So which is good, because it's not like nothing against the big brands, but I mean, it's always the same flavor 365 days a year. Exactly. There's never a change. I mean, and some people like that, that's okay. We're just trying to show people a little bit of something different. And I think now we'll be able to show somebody what's the difference between the one pumpkin pie. We got another pumpkin pie.
Exactly.
You forgot to give me your score.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, this one, I think it's good. I'm going to go with a 3.1 on this one. Like I said, I could drink a couple of them.
Yep.
I think the cinnamon was a little bit stronger than some of the other flavors, but I liked it. Really, there wasn't a drawback to me. I think you could drink a number of them.
Right.
Good job. I liked it.
So I think it's not a negative. It's not a drawback. But for me, the pumpkin spice kind of overtook the pumpkin flavor. So I'm going to drop it just a little bit. Yep. I'm going to go with 3.0.
Okay.
Only because I was looking for a little more. I know that pumpkin doesn't have a lot of flavor to begin with, but I was looking for, their mix of spices was spot on. Perfect. Kudos to Lakefront, and keep on brewing good stuff.
Well, there you go.
All right, so what else is on the hook?
Well, we're going to go right into the other pumpkin pie.
Ooh, nice.
Labeled one. This is Pumpkin Pie Treat. And it's by Prairie Artisan Ales.
Oh, we've had some.
Oh, yeah. The bomb. Christmas bomb, birthday bomb, the deconstructed bomb.
Yes.
Yep, the pumpkin pie treat. This is a ale with pumpkin and pumpkin pie spice blended and with toasted marshmallow.
Ooh.
So it's a...
Ooh, I see a couple things that kind of...
What? It's an ale. Is that what you're talking about? The ale?
An S word.
Sweet ale? Oh!
Ooh.
The S hour.
Yes. Ooh, boy.
But look at the label. It's got whipped cream on the top.
I'm hoping. I got it in my head. I'm thinking good thoughts.
That's the marshmallow.
Yes, I'm hoping. It's a 8.2. 8.2. I'm sorry.
8.2. And this is a sour ale, but it has pumpkin pie, spice, and toasted marshmallow.
Yes, and I don't know if we said this, but when I looked on the website, and again, I'm not there. I don't know how this all works, right? But we have a pumpkin pie treat. And then when you look on the website, it's called pumpkin kerfuffle. So could you tell me what a kerfuffle is?
A kerfuffle,
it almost sounds like a swear word. So I don't.
Well,
I hope I don't say this after I drink this.
I was going to say, if you don't like it, just say kerfuffle.
All right. Well, that's what I was wondering, because I was like, did they and I kept on checking it, and on their website, this is all that.
But the can is the pumpkin pie treat can.
It looks exactly like
So it doesn't say anything on a pumpkin kerfuffle. Is one of the first Imperial or pastry or high ABV sour ales that we did back in 2021.
Yep.
It's like a tart liquid pumpkin pie. See, it's like pumpkin pie, Jim. Perfect for carrying around while you watch your dumb kids trick or treat. Now that's a quote from Prairie Artisan Ales.
It's seasonal.
It's a seasonal we intend to bring back in the late summer into the fall. So that's kind of something to watch your dumb kids trick or treat. Well, that's not very nice.
All right, so I may be pouring some of this into your cup.
Boy, you can smell it. You can smell the sour, and you can smell the pumpkin smell.
Oh my God.
You know, well, I'm going to save this until you take the first take. It's definitely a darker sour, so to speak. I mean, it's not like your normal pumpkin color. It's white head. You can smell the pumpkin spice, but you can also smell the sour.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
That's not bad.
What the?
You don't like that? That's not bad.
There's no sourness.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
What?
So you're not going to pour any, I'm guessing?
So it smells sour. It smells tart.
Like I said, when I was describing it, I smelled sour, and it does not taste like that at all.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Is that good or not?
That's pretty good.
I mean, when you smell it, it smells sour.
You get that
sour aroma.
Tart, what you think of as sour, but you taste it, and it's not there.
It's smooth. Oh my gosh.
You see, I'm converting you to a sour guy. This is good.
Wow. I mean,
I'm impressed.
So again, I got to ask the questions. Hopefully you can enlighten me. They say an Imperial sour. Most people, when they look at the can, they're going to think super tart.
Well, I would think.
How would an average person that looks at that know that this is not super tart? This is like super smooth.
Especially when you read their description, it says it's a tart. Typically, when it says Imperial, I think it's just higher alcohol. That's what I think Imperial deals with, the higher alcohol.
Yep.
So higher alcohol sour, and their description says tart. I would still think that's going to be. Now remember,
the smell.
I've been drinking sours for over a year to try and get to where I can stand them. This does not taste like a sour.
Let's just put a wall here, right? Yep. For the sours you've tasted, how would you rate this one?
Boy, this is good.
I mean,
if you wanted me just to compare them to other sours,
just to compare.
This is probably one of the best sours I've had. Honestly,
are you serious?
I'm serious.
I mean, but you're not just saying this for the podcast.
No, because I've tried a lot of them.
Right. I can't try them.
The one thing that I've noticed, especially in this, since I started doing it, more sours, they're not sour, they're sweet. Okay. They went sweeter. We've had some that have been extremely sour. Tart. There you go. But most of them aren't. But this is good. And even for a pumpkin beer, this is good.
I mean, I actually taste the pumpkin. I mean,
before we tasted it, Jim, I was going to say, I hope this doesn't taste like the squash beer.
Correct.
That we had. A side note, unfortunately. Okay. So that was one of the first, you remember, one of the very first on locations we did was at Lark Brewing in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Remember?
Okay. Yep.
That they closed.
Really?
I just saw it was it the end of last week? No, it was the first part of this week that they had on Facebook that they closed, and they're selling everything off. I mean, all their brewing stuff, the chairs, tables, everything is going. Yeah.
Well,
and when we were there, we got to meet the brewmaster, the lady that does all the brewing and owned it and such. And, and that's the sad part is, to me, I want to see all these craft breweries make it, and I totally can understand, because they were in a mall.
Yes.
And that's a hard thing.
Yep.
Because malls themselves are
are going downhill. They're not attracting as many
Correct.
people.
And typically the rent in a mall is super high.
Right.
And so I don't know. Hopefully she'll be able to
Move somewhere else. And keep her recipes with her.
Correct. But if she doesn't, I'm sure there'll be the other thing too in Cedar Falls. There's a number of breweries there.
Yes.
So if she is done, I'm sure there's another one will take its place. We don't want to see any, especially craft breweries, go out of business because they all have something really good to offer typically. And she was very nice.
So you said you were coming back. How would you rate this against all sours? And then we'll ask you about how you rate it against pumpkins.
Well, like I said, this is probably one of the best sours I've had.
Okay.
If I'm only basing it on sours.
Let's do 2 sours, 1, and then pumpkins is
this would probably be, this is in my top, I'd say my top 5 all time for sours. Wow. Probably the top 3.
That's pretty good though, right?
Oh yeah. And it's probably pushing 1 or 2 because it's not sour.
No,
there's just a very faint tartness to it, but it's not bad at all. But it's very good. And for pumpkin beers, it's got really good flavor, I think, my opinion.
So what do you want to give it?
I'm going to 3.5. I think this is good. I don't know if the marshmallow that's in it, if that maybe helps to smooth it out a little bit. I don't know. But I think, because I don't think I taste much marshmallow. I taste a lot of pumpkin spice.
Right, there's something that's making it smooth.
It's got to be the marshmallow, but I don't get you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
You've had s'mores beer.
Yep.
I don't get that kind of a
sweetness, right?
Sweetness, like a marshmallowy sweetness. That's all I can think of. That maybe that knocks it down.
Okay.
I like it. I think it's a good job. And like I said, if people have never tried a sour beer or a pumpkin beer, I'd try it. It's not offensive at all. I think they did a good job.
Mike, take a seat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go 3.9.
3.9? Wait, hold on. I got to. Whoa.
This has got to be one of the best beers. This is close to the bourbon barrel beer. My opinion, it really tastes good. They did a great job. I mean, and I don't know how that they turned a sour into a not sour and made it taste good with spice, with pumpkin and marshmallow. If I was at Thanksgiving dinner,
you would drink this.
Somebody gave me pumpkin pie or this, I would take this over the pumpkin pie and probably be banned from the Thanksgiving table because this tastes so good.
Hold on.
I'm just
hold on. I think I got something in my eye. I can't believe you turned into a sour guy.
This is kudos.
Prairie Artisan Ales.
I mean, I think you touched on it.
Yep.
Artisan ales have always really had a good.
We've had a number of their beers.
And I mean, it put a little bit on here, but I did not know some of these things that they combined with some other breweries. But I mean, they're still doing a great job. Mm-hmm. And I was a little hesitant because it said sour and it said pumpkin. I said, well, we're going to do our podcast on pumpkin beers.
Yep.
And I wanted to bring it just because we're not biased against any brewery. We want to give everybody a fair shot. And so I honestly will have to say I went into this thinking this was going to be the worst beer of the entire lineup. I'll say that honestly and without any hesitation. And I'm very, very, very pleasantly surprised that it's one of my best beers ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a hand back to you, Mike. I don't know.
It's funny when we first started and you had said how this category is extremely wide open for the different styles.
Yep.
And you're right. Honestly, I thought sour pumpkin is going to be, that was really good. So
I mean, we've had a squash beer.
Oh yeah, that was slightly below this one.
Is that the one that had heather?
No, that was a different one. Remember, and we still don't know what heather did because remember they made some kind of.
But heather does taste good.
Yeah, but they made some kind of really bad comment about her. Remember, so we're like, what? Yeah. What did Heather do to you?
Oh, all right. So what? Do you want to wrap? I mean, so we had 2 pumpkin pies.
Yep. Well, I got a story to tell you.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got a story to tell you.
Yep.
So we were moving.
Yes.
And we moved.
And you moved.
You helped us move. You did not get in on the let's chase the chicken.
Oh.
And I wish I had video.
Mike.
But well,
you know what
I need to get either like a body camera like the cops have or a GoPro.
You know what I say, right?
What's that?
No video. It
didn't happen.
So,
but let me tell the story.
Because I try to tell everybody.
Let me tell the story though, because
all right.
So COVID. We're going to backtrack.
Okay.
2020 COVID. My daughter always wanted to have chickens.
Okay.
So
nothing wrong with that, right?
No. We decided, okay, they're shutting everything down, in our area too. The school, it was all virtual.
Oh, yes.
Remember,
Yep.
your daughter was the same.
Yep.
So we said, okay, we will get chickens. So we bought the chickens, had them in the chicks. Yep. Baby chicks. Had them in the garage. So now we have to buy a coop.
Okay.
And so we bought a coop. And well, then as they were getting bigger, we're like, we need more room because we bought 10 chicks.
Yep.
Hoping that like 4 or 5 would survive. Yeah, all 10 survived.
Okay.
So then we had to get another coop. Well, then we found another coop, but then we built like a run in between them. You know what I'm saying? So there's more room.
Mike,
okay, no problem.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do we need to have something to sip on while you keep going in your story?
Well, let me get to where we're getting first, and then we'll have the next one.
Gotcha.
So we're moving.
Yep, you're moving.
Okay, and we still have 7 of the 10 chickens. So it's like, okay. And honestly, I was dreading this because you helped me move the second coop that we got. Remember, they loaded it with a skid steer.
Right. It was heavy.
And it took 6 of us to lift that thing off of it.
Remember at first you and I tried to lift?
Yes.
And how far did we get it off the ground?
Not at all.
We didn't even move it.
Not at all.
So it's got to be over 1,000 pounds, I would bet.
Oh, it's heavy. Yeah. And I was dreading it. I was like, oh my gosh, can we just leave the chickens? And my wife said, no.
They can be free range.
Yeah, no, yeah, your daughter will not go for that. And I was like, but she's at college. She'll never know, So, yeah, I'm getting thirsty. I'll grab the next beer. But, yes, so
you're in the process of moving. So you're
in the process
to the point.
The process of moving. Well, let me do this.
Okay.
So we're moving.
Yep.
And one of my brother-in-laws has a skid steer. He came over. Susie and I unhooked the 3 parts. The heavy coop, the middle, the run part, and then the original coop.
Yep.
We unhooked them all. He loaded
where are the chickens?
The heavy one. The chickens are still in the original coop, and actually in the middle section.
All right, so you got them confined into one coop.
Well, until we moved the heavy one, then there was nothing to stop them from that end. But they all just hung around there.
Okay,
we loaded that on the trailer, took it over to the new house, which our new house is 2 miles down the road.
Yep,
and my brother-in-law, thank goodness, he's like, I could drive down there. So he took a skid steer, drove the skid steer 2 miles at 5 miles an hour.
Yep.
Took a while to get there. Unloaded it. We got it leveled up. No problem. So then our nephew Jay and I and Susie went back, loaded up the middle section on the trailer and took that. Came back, and then we unhooked the 2... Because the original coop had the coop part where they actually can sleep, and it has the nesting boxes in it. And then there was like the little kind of a run area, but it's not very big. So then we loaded that up. Now we have to catch the chickens. And now we have to have another beer.
Because it looks like your face on the can after running after something.
Oh, yes. So this is by New Belgium. And I have had this one before.
Oh, you have?
But this was a year or 2 ago. So this is the 2022-23 version. And this is their Atomic Pumpkin. And this is it's a special release, but it's crossed off and says spicy release. So this is a pumpkin beer, but it also has pepper in it. Now, does it say which pepper it is?
Yes, it does.
What does it say?
It says
find it here.
An ale brewed with pumpkin juice.
Here we go. Yep.
Saigon cinnamon.
Okay.
Habanero.
I don't know how to pronounce
AJI.
AJI.
How do you say that?
Ajay and Del Arbol. ARBOL peppers.
Oof. Duh.
Now, if it's anything like I remember, it's got a little spice to it.
If my sphincter is on fire, I'm going to be... oh, wait, I think there's more.
Oh.
You poured enough with the run-of-the-mill pumpkin beers.
Oh.
I'm not interested in an ale that takes cues from a frozen coffee drink, and neither are you. That's why I made Atomic Pumpkin. Does it really feature habanero peppers? Yep. What about Saigon cinnamon? Ding! Ajay and Del Arbol peppers? Winner! Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I round it all out with a hearty malt bill that makes for a spicy brew that puts the fun back in pumpkin.
Spelling was never my strength. So this is part of the Voodoo Ranger series, and the guy on the can
is that you after Run After Chicken?
I felt like that. But it's like their skeleton guy.
Yep.
You know, he's got kind of the aviator hat and some sunglasses and
it looks orange. It's orange, just like the color of the can. It looks orangish.
Yeah. And if I remember right, it does have a little bit of a spice to it.
Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh.
You get the cinnamon for sure.
Yeah. There's something burning down my throat.
If
you're not into spicy, this is not.
I got to take another taste because I almost think the one we had
my lips
a year or two ago was almost spicier. But
I can taste it on my lips. There's definitely peppers,
but you don't get the pepper until on the swallow.
Right. So
you know what I mean? I get the cinnamon and then you swallow, and then the burn comes in your throat.
So my question is to you.
Yep.
Where's the pumpkin?
That's yeah.
I mean, I taste all the peppers. I taste all.
I get the cinnamon. You got me thinking, because my score was going to be fairly high on this one. I don't know. I mean, I don't get a lot of pumpkin.
So the hard part is, I think I see where he's trying to go with these flavors.
Yep.
But the spicy, it's definitely spicy. But when I have pumpkin pie or I eat a pumpkin,
yep.
Do I put these flavors on your pumpkin?
No, maybe not. But it's
so. How do you? That's that's where I'm kind of conflicted with my.
To me, the dominant flavor is cinnamon.
Yes.
Man, Jim, now you ruined my whole. I got to rethink this now.
But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do, 100%.
I think there is a faint hint of pumpkin. Mm-hmm. I think on the very, very tail end of the finish, once the pepper spice goes away, I do have a little bit, but it's not much.
But you're probably right, but the cinnamon is the more pronounced spice.
Yes.
I don't really get nutmeg or allspice or clove or any of that stuff, which I don't even know if they talked about.
No, it's just a Saigon cinnamon.
Oh, and with pumpkin juice. I can't say as I've had pumpkin juice, so I don't know.
Well, you're talking. Why don't you go first on your score?
Oh my gosh. Because you kind of
put you on the spot.
You kind of ruined it because
I'm
going to tell you what I was going to originally go with, and then I'll tell you where I'm at.
Okay. And give it both trains of thought where you're going.
When I first tasted it, I thought, because I like pepper. Not stupid hot, dab at it like a bullet wound type pepper, but I don't mind pepper. I could taste the cinnamon and all that, and I thought, boy, that's good flavor. I'm going like a 3.7.
Okay.
And as soon as you said, well, where's the pumpkin? It's like, I just really don't get pumpkin.
Right. He overcompensated all the other flavors.
I get cinnamon and I get pepper.
Yep. Is your mouth on fire now?
No, the only place the back of my throat is where I can taste. I get the heat from the pepper, and it's not overpowering.
Right.
If you ever want to try a pepper beer, this would probably be a good one because it's not very spicy. It goes away pretty quick.
Right.
Because of that, I'm going like a 3.0 because I don't get the pumpkin.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I don't have any other. And like I said, they don't say anything about nutmeg. Clove, your normal other pumpkin spices, and when it said about brewed with pumpkin juice, I don't know
how that changes, right?
Correct. So I'm a 3.0 just because of that. Otherwise, I was going to be a 3.7.
Yes.
But you nailed it.
So, and again, this is from Fort Collins, Colorado. Mm-hmm. We've had a number of New Belgium beers.
Yep.
We've always thought they've been very good, very flavorful. And again, this is like super, there's a lot of flavor.
Yep.
But the only thing I would caution the drinker, if somebody's going to want to buy this one, when it says spicy, it is spicy. So if you're not into the that type of pepper type of flavor, this is probably not your beer. Even though it says pumpkin on it, so you may want to step back. You may not want this. You may want to try something different first, and then work your way into this one. Unfortunately for me, I do like peppers. I do like spice. I do like flavor. But this one, I haven't had a drink in just a few minutes, and it's still lingering in my throat. So it's still there. So I'm gonna have to go like a 2.5. Unfortunately, only because it lingers. It's not a bad thing, but if somebody's not ready for this type of pepper habanero,
Oh, sure.
it's going to catch them off guard, and they're going to probably need to drink some milk or something. But I mean, it has flavor.
Yep.
It has flavor, which is great. I appreciate that.
But it's definitely a cinnamon flavor.
Yes, and it's not the pumpkin flavor I was expecting.
Yep.
That's where I kind of take it back.
Way to ruin it for me, Jim.
Sorry, Mike. I'm just trying to be the realist.
No, you're right. As soon as you mentioned that, I was just like, you're right. All I got was cinnamon, and I got the burn from the habanero.
Yep. So how does the guy on the can resemble Mike after catching a chicken?
Okay, so we had loaded up the coops. We had the last coop and the little, the original coop and that part on the trailer.
So we
have 7 chickens.
So
the chickens are the chicken. Yep, everything is gone. I mean, that part of the coop is still on the trailer. We have 7 chickens loose in the
hinterlands.
Yard. So I'm like, okay. Now remember, Jay has never caught a chicken before.
Wow.
And he goes, "This is the first time that I'll ever catch a chicken." We're like, okay,
that's good to know.
Yeah,
he's young and spry.
Yep. Well, he's not that young, but
he's spry.
He's somewhat spry. Sprier than us.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Jay had talked to me the one day about one of the first podcasts that he had heard when you were saying, well, I could drink like half a can of that. So he was very upset because remember how he rates beers on how much of a can of that beer he could drink.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was talking crazy. He was going to get a lawyer involved to go after you. And then he tried to trademark it and they said, yeah, you're good. And so he's good now. But
is he all right?
Yeah, he's okay.
All right. Well,
but anyway,
have him take a drink of that.
Yes,
That'll calm him down.
That'll calm him down. So anyway, my normal trick when you let the chickens out is we have a bag of it's like dried
you do
mealworms
tricks with chickens.
Well, hold on to get them back in.
Oh,
they got these little trees.
I had a different vision.
No, they're not that good.
Oh, okay.
They're like dried mealworms. You shake the bag, they come running.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're like, okay, well, let's get the bag of worms and we'll shake it, and here they come running. So then you just start grabbing them, and I'm taking Jay's picture when he's got the first chicken he's ever caught and all this.
You got his picture?
Oh yeah.
Can we put it on?
Oh, sure.
Let's put it on Instagram?
Oh, yeah, I'll put it on
the podcast part, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'll put it on there.
All right. Things are going smooth.
We get down to 2. One is the naughty one that I figured was going to be horrible to catch. The other one, I thought, no problem.
Okay.
So we're like, all right. And I shake it again, and they're kind of, and then all of a sudden, whoop, we grab the naughty one, put her away.
Nice.
So
you're almost done.
Yeah, we're putting them in the coop. We closed the doors, so that they're confined into the actual coop.
Almost done, right?
Almost done. One left, and it's one that's normally really nice chicken. So goes right in.
When you say mean chicken,
I didn't say mean.
No, like the last one. There's
She's a naughty chicken.
Oh, so what do you mean by naughty?
She wouldn't come back.
Normally. Oh, so it's not like they're getting spurs and they're going to spur you.
No. These are all hens.
Oh, okay. So these are not.
She normally. I got to chase that one around and get her back in the coop.
Okay, gotcha. So it's not like a rooster.
Nope.
Where they're like mean.
Nope.
They're just not. They don't. When you say like a dog, get in here.
Correct.
It doesn't happen.
No.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that one we caught.
So now you're down to 1.
So now we're down to 1.
Okay.
And it's one that normally no problem. It was a problem. So we had my wife.
Yep.
Susie, Jay,
and
myself. So there's 3 of us.
3 of you out there.
3 adult humans.
Looking for one
trying
little
to catch
chicken.
one chicken.
Little chicken.
So it depends on who you talk to. Jay.
Mike.
Yeah.
At this point, did you bust out the GoPro or your phone?
No, because I didn't. They were all packed up.
Dude.
Correct. And I will get to that part because, I'll skip ahead. Because when it was all said and done, Jay goes, if we'd have videoed that whole thing, we'd have probably had about 15 videos that we could have submitted and won money on because it was dumb.
Dude.
It was dumb.
Why didn't you do that?
Because I needed both hands. We needed all trying to catch a chicken.
That's what I'm
How
saying.
many chickens have you caught?
Mike?
Yeah.
On a farm?
How many chickens you got on your farm right now?
We catch them with a bullet. We go out when it's time to go looking for chickens. We have chicken stew. We don't waste time.
That was brought up well into this, and I was shot down by it.
But that's why you always beg for forgiveness afterward.
Yeah. Well, that's a good plan. But
for you,
it was. I'm thirsty.
All right. What do we got here, buddy?
So the next one, and we'll get back to the chicken story because we're a long ways from being done with that story. So
Well, I'm getting thirsty just thinking about it.
This one is by Southern Tier.
Well, they're good.
Pumpking Imperial Pumpkin Ale.
That's a good sign.
8.6% ABV. Look at the guy on that label.
Dude.
He's like the king of the pumpkins. It reminds me of...
He's got a big smile on his face.
Like the Headless Horseman. Kind of thing. He's got a cape and all that and a big pumpkin head and he's got a crown on.
Well, I'm hoping that'll get rid of that pepper I got in my throat that's like burning down to there.
So this says best by 5/16 of 2025. So you know it's fresh.
That's got to be fresh.
Got to be.
So
do they give any...
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. It says, All Hallows Eve is a time of year when spirits can make contact with the physical world and when magic is most potent. Some think we harness magic to brew our powerful pumpkin ale. Not so, but it is with great respect to the magic of the trade that our brewers craft this fine beer. Savor the bewitching taste, share the magic, and declare your loyalty to the pumpkin.
Wow.
So this is an 8.6 ABV and 33 IBU.
So this looks like a pumpkin beer. It's a pumpkin color.
Yep.
White head. The aroma is a little bit there, but you can kind of smell the pumpkin.
Ooh, there's spice.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of spice.
I don't know if it's because it's Imperial.
But is it
or what?
I thought you said Imperial was high ABV.
Right. So I don't know if it's the alcohol that's kind of changing it a little bit. It's got a little bit of a sharper flavor.
To me, it tastes like a lot of pumpkin, doesn't it? Like a sharp pumpkin flavor.
Yep. I would agree.
I like Southern Tier.
Yep.
And I like the brewery.
We have more. There's coming.
I know. And I know they do a great job.
Yep.
I'm not sold on this one, unfortunately. Yep. I'm not saying that it's a bad beer, and I think that it's not a great beer. I don't know if it's up to their normal standards. I'm going to have to go with 3.1. I'm going to have to drop it down a little bit. 3.1. I don't know what you're thinking on that.
Yeah. To me, it's just... Honestly, it's got a little bit of a weird taste at the end, the finish.
It does.
And like I said, I wish I could figure out if it was just the higher alcohol might be messing with it a little bit or what. I don't get. Did it say it was pumpkin spice or was it?
It did not say.
Okay.
And it doesn't say in the bottle. It didn't say on the...
Correct, yeah.
So it's hard to pinpoint. Some of the flavors just not matched together quite right.
I mean, for an 8, you said it was what, 8.6?
Yep.
It drinks smoother than that. So I'm going to go with 3.0 again, just because.
No, you did. The atomic was.
Yep. I'm going to go 3.0 because I was going to go 2.9, but for 8.6, it drinks smoother.
Okay.
I wouldn't know it was 8.6. I'm not sold on that one, unfortunately, Southern Tier.
Well, I'm going to save a little bit in my glass so I can listen to the rest of the turkey, or I'm sorry, the chicken.
Chicken. We don't have turkeys. We got chickens.
Smaller birds.
Okay.
So are you back? So are you back in that frame of mind?
We got one left.
One. Uno.
And normally she's a very easygoing chicken.
So you know these chickens by name.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, my daughter, we got them in 2020 during COVID. My daughter went to college.
Okay.
So this year, she's a junior now.
All right.
I tried to convince the college that they were her support animals, but they didn't buy it. So we inherited.
She could take one to class with her.
Well, she could have took 7 of them to class with her.
There you go.
They didn't buy it.
No.
So we have the chickens.
Okay.
So every morning I go out and feed the chickens. If you've never fed chickens or you haven't dealt with chickens, honestly, they're pretty cool. They've got their own personalities. And in the morning, they're all like, oh, and you can tell the difference in them.
All right.
So I give them credit. I mean, because our daughter has asked me, so, when the chickens pass away, are you going to get more chickens? And I said, I don't know. Because
you're honest.
Again, the eggs that we get, unbelievable. If, your store-bought eggs, and I shouldn't say because I'm not sure if I ever had like organic chicken, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where, something like that, but your normal store-bought chickens are very bland.
Right.
These are super good, very good flavor to them, very good eggs. But then you gotta, you're going somewhere, you gotta, make sure they got enough food and water and all, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't know. So anyway,
we're down to this.
We got one chicken.
So where was the last time? So you had them all together, right? You said you were.
Yep.
So they were all
in the coop. Yep. They were all hanging out right there.
All right.
Shook the bag. They all.
So
we caught them. We take them over, put them in the coop.
And then what happens this one?
The one. Well, of course, you're going to come down to the last one.
So does she like figure out they're scooping all these other ones up?
I'm not exactly sure. Her head is like this big, so her brain's got to be the size of a peanut.
Okay.
But apparently, it's a very smart peanut.
Because
now, if you talk to Jay, he says it lasted 25 to 30 minutes. Me, I say it lasted 45 minutes.
You know how long it would take me?
Hang on, because I have to I have to tell you because that's later on.
All right.
So again, like Jay said, if we'd have videoed it, we'd have had all this footage I could have showed you because
yes, and now you have nothing.
I have nothing, and I apologize. I have to get a body cam or a GoPro so I can record this stuff.
All right.
And I will try to do that. There was 5 or 6 times when the 3 of us are within 5 feet of each other and all 3 of us missed the chicken. She would run this way and we'd miss her, and she'd come back this way and we'd try and get her into the garage and she'd go this way. Then she gets over the front hill. Remember the hill in the front?
Steep.
And it's got all those freaking blackberry
brush,
the thorny things.
Yep.
And she starts going down there. Well, no, actually, first she went down the driveway and cut in through the pine trees.
Oh, so nobody can get into that.
Right. And also she pops back up, takes off, and it keeps going. And we try to get her in the garage. Didn't work. Then she gets into the blackberries. We're trying to chase her through this. Jay and I, and Susie was around the side. We're trying to get her. She keeps going farther down the hill, and it's steep. So then Susie goes down around, and Jay's like, well, you stay here, and I'm going to go around. So he comes back up and around and goes kind of on the side by Susie. And they're looking, where is she? Where is he? And I hear something, and I look. Here she comes running right past me.
Oh, did you get her?
No.
Oh.
No, she was in the blackberry stuff with all the thorns. I wasn't going to reach in there.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm not dumb, And so this is like, I don't know, like I said.
So was it close enough you could shoot?
I say it got to like the 40-minute mark.
Right.
And I go, Susie? She goes, yeah. I go get a gun.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
I go, this is coming to an end now. And she goes, no. I go, what? She goes, your daughter would never let you. And I go, okay.
But you'd have supper.
Yes, but if it's anything like years ago, my mom had a cousin that she had laying hens, that laid eggs, and they were getting rid of them. And they said, oh, you guys can have the chickens. We'll, come over, help us clean them. You can have them. And it was like trying to eat a leather shoe because they're so tough because they're old,
But you said this is only a couple years old.
It is, but it's probably, I don't know how tough they are, but still.
But you put them in a pot roast, make them.
Yeah.
Boil them for a little while.
We probably could have boiled it or put it in a slow cooker for all day.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, let's have another beer, and then I'll tell you how it ended up.
All right. So what are we on?
So now we are on another Southern Tier.
Yep.
This is Warlock. Imperial Pumpkin Stout.
Oh, there you go, buddy.
This guy, on the label,
looks like a wizard.
It's purple.
Does he look like
and it's like a wizard outfit with a hat and robe, and then
he's got the same face like the one from the last one.
Look at this guy was happier. This guy looks more angry.
Oh, there you go.
See? So yeah.
All right. Well, let's hope that the angriness turns into goodness.
We can only hope.
With a stout. We haven't had a stout.
We have not had a stout in a while.
A couple weeks, have we?
You know what, Jim? Here's a thing for you. During our move, I had to move all the boxes of beer that I have downstairs.
Do you have any boxes of beer?
I got more boxes of beer than I thought I had. I was going through them, and we've got a number of high-octane stouts.
Are we going to do
that we're going to have to do, like, maybe the month of November, we should do Stout month or January or something. I was looking at all that stuff, and it was like, oh my gosh, there were beers I forgot that I had bought for us to do. I've got beers from Illinois. I've got beers from Wisconsin. I got all sorts of beers that we're going to have to probably break into. So,
well, I think you can twist my arm. I might be able to help you out, but we may need somebody.
We're going to have another, at least one, if not two other participants to help, because a lot of these are in bigger bottles. Okay, so back to this one. This is Warlock by Southern Tier Imperial Pumpkin Stout. So this is the first stout, and it's definitely a darker beer. So the head on it is kind of that
tannish.
Kind of a tannish, a little bit lighter tannish than normal, but
it's not over the top.
That's not too bad.
Wow.
It does have a little bit of I'm not going to say a burnt taste to it, but
I'm trying to figure out, is that the pumpkin? So should I read a little bit of the thing here?
Yeah, what did you find out on this one?
So it said, welcome to the dark side.
Oh, there you go.
Warlock is brewed to enchant your palate and perfectly complements His Royal Highness Pumpking Imperial Ale. Craft your own black magic by pouring this Imperial Stout into a goblet.
Okay.
Awaken your dark and mystical side with Warlock's roasted malt character, moderate carbonation, and spiced pumpkin pie aroma. I mean,
So we've had, I think this is the 3rd or 4th year of Warlock that we've had.
is it?
And it's pretty consistent.
Yeah, I mean, this is not
You
bad.
know.
I mean, this is
No,
for an
it's
Imperial
not.
Stout.
And yes.
What's weird, it says Imperial Stout. It is not
But it's not, what is the percent? It's
8.6.
8.6.
All three of these are 8.6.
So it's a lower Imperial Stout for ABV.
Right. And the like when you talk like Imperial, like sometimes I think of Imperial as like a stronger flavor.
Yep.
And it's really smooth.
Like I said, I think it's pretty decent. You know, I get I get the pumpkin spice. It does seem to me like and it must be the stout flavor, so to speak. You know, that the toasted malt flavor where it's a little bit darker.
Right. I think that's you have the finish for me, right?
Yes.
The finish is almost like it lingers on, but it's not bad. The weird part, I think, is the front end. I think there's a little bit of. I do taste a little bit of pumpkin.
Yep.
But it's not over the top.
Correct.
I think. Well, this is not my favorite. I think the sour still might be my favorite. I can't believe I'm saying that.
You gotta warn me when you're gonna talk like that because I gotta sit down for a second.
But this is. I think this one's a good beer, though.
Yes.
I think this might be my second favorite tonight for pumpkin.
It's
It's a different style than the sour.
You know, like I said, for me, I think the toasted, I'm sure it's toasted malt.
Yep.
Gives it a little bit, the toasted flavor where it almost has almost like a burnt flavor to it.
Right.
This is right on that line.
Right on the edge.
You know?
Yep.
So it takes it knocks down a little bit, but again, it doesn't drink like an 8.6. Very smooth. It's a good beer for stars.
Do you want to start out?
Yeah.
I had to go last time.
I'm gonna take another drink. You can.
But I mean, this, and I guess for the listeners out there, so if you see this, I would recommend this. I mean, I wouldn't have any reservations. Recommend this to anybody to take a drink of this. I think I bought this in La Crosse at one of the grocery stores, I think. So this was a really good beer, and it actually had these three were together along with there was a Christmas cookie one.
Oh, sure. Yes.
So there was four of them together, so it was a 4-pack.
So they were all Southern tier.
Yes.
Yep. I'm gonna go a 3.4.
Ooh, way up there.
I'm gonna put that as my second beer at this point.
All right. Yeah.
Like I said again, I think
And what are you thinking?
it's good. Like I said, it just has that little bit right on the edge of being that burnt flavor.
Yes.
But it doesn't go over that edge. And I get the pumpkin and 8.6. I would never have guessed it was that high.
Yep.
So to speak. I mean, we've had a lot higher, but
oh yes,
you know what I mean? It drinks very smooth and it's dark. Yeah, it's good. I have nothing bad to say other than, like I said, it's just, it tiptoes on that line of the toasted malts being the burnt flavor compared to what it is. And it's good. I like it.
All right. And I think for me, this is definitely my number two right now at this point, my number two beer. It is up there. It's got a good flavor. I think what kind of distinguishes it or separates it from the other ones, the finish is much better for me.
Okay, yep.
It does not have the lingering part is not there. I taste the pumpkin. I taste the style is there. I like what they're doing. Southern Tier. This is like they've done this a couple of years in a row.
Oh yes, yeah.
So they've got the magic like they talked about in the bottle, and they're doing a good job. Keep up the good work. They're doing great. I wish I could have this year round, but I know that we don't. So kudos to you. Yep. I appreciate it. I am going to say 3.4.
Okay, yeah.
Same as you. I'm right in line.
You know, Southern Tier, do you remember they also do those, and they come in like a 10-ounce can or an 8-ounce can, where they had the a snickerdoodle. They had remember, but they were higher alcohol.
Yep.
They were very good. So I mean, Southern Tier does a good job.
I think that, in my opinion, you know, you've got your top echelons, bourbon barrel, like flavor stuff, Bourbon County, and way up there, Central Waters.
Central Water, yeah, we have a new
These
king.
might be in the second tier now for me.
Oh, yeah. I
don't know.
I agree with you 100% because we've had a lot of Southern Tier beers, and a lot of them are higher alcohol, and they do a good job.
Right. Mean, they just got, so we've had two 8.6. We've got one more is 8.6. And they do not taste like that at all.
Right.
So, I mean, they're very, very good beer, very well crafted, very drinkable.
Yep.
I don't know if that's a good word or not, but I mean, I would
I know what you
recommend
meant. Yep.
if somebody sees Southern Tier, I would recommend they go and try it.
If you see a Southern Tier, try it, honestly. Because remember, we had that hot cocoa, we had even the smaller cans.
Yep.
They do a good job, a very good job. They've got kind of a wide variety of beers that they make. They do a great job.
Yes.
Okay, so let me finish my chicken story.
So where are we at in the story?
We've been
Get
chasing,
it back up to speed.
We've been chasing the single chicken for 45 minutes through the blackberry brambles.
Have you called me to bring my gun?
No, I asked my wife to get a gun, and she said no.
Okay, so guns
So
out.
I knew if I asked you to come, you'd bring a gun.
Yes.
So yeah.
I was gonna make the hunt for the chicken short and sweet.
Yes, and that's where I wanted it to be.
Okay.
So
And you're not there.
no,
Okay.
no, but we're coming to an end.
You are.
So the chicken, after it runs past me through the blackberries,
Yep.
beelines for the trailer that the coop and it's sitting on, and all the other chickens are in.
Oh, and they're all
there.
cackling and
It jumps up on the bed of the trailer.
nice.
And we're like, perfect.
It's there.
Done. So we go over there. It looks at us and goes, I don't think so. Jumps down, runs under the trailer.
oh snap.
Yes. So we're like, okay, now what do you do? So we're down. Jay, you go stand in front of the truck.
Yep.
Because it's hooked to the truck. Go stand in front of the truck. Susan and we get on both sides, one in the back. Because I go, somebody's got to be in the back because if it shoots out the back. I go on this side. It takes off out the front. Runs under the trailer, under the truck. It starts running down
Towards Jay.
Well, it's running down the driveway.
Oh.
And our driveway, remember, was pretty steep. Jay, I look over. Jay has a metal rake, and he's running next to this chicken running down the driveway.
Nice. Is there video?
No.
Oh.
And I wish there was, because he ran faster than I think I've ever seen him run.
And
He whips out, stops the chicken. So he's standing there. Now, we're up the hill.
Yep.
He's standing there with this rake, and this chicken is there.
Looking at him.
Looking at him.
He's looking at the chicken.
And he moves the rake like this and, stops, goes over the chicken, slowly lowers it, gets out, and then just pushes the chicken down.
Oh.
And jumps on it. And he's got the chicken, right?
No way.
He picks it up and goes, like that scene.
Touchdown.
The scene in like the Lion King when the little lion is born. He raises it above his head. I got it.
They didn't shit on him, did he?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
all right.
I'm sorry. It didn't SH.
Yes, this is a family show,
Yes.
Jim.
I didn't mean to say
But he
that.
holds it up above his head, and then he comes up the hill.
Where's the rake?
He left it in the driveway.
Okay.
So
But at least the chicken is safe.
Throw the chicken in the coop, and then he goes and gets the rake and moves it.
And all else is...
And we take it over to the house, and everything's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, but like I said, I think it was 45 minutes. He thinks it was 25, 30 minutes. Whatever it was way too long.
Holy buckets,
Yeah,
dude.
and it was just horrible. We get them over there because then we could just take the coop off. We still have to connect them all together, but
Right.
we put them in there and they were fine. They all come out. They were stressed. They had to get water. They were thirsty, but
They're in the new home.
but
Or new home's location.
yeah, they're at the new home's location. But I've watched the original Rocky.
Yeah.
You've seen it. I thought, come on, how hard could catching a chicken be? It sucked.
Did it?
Oh yeah, honestly, Rocky
Made it look
he didn't lie. It was terrible.
So he made it look much easier than what...
Yeah, if my wife would have let me get the gun, it would have been over sooner. But
Or if he'd called me.
or if he had called you, yes,
I would have... It would have been less than 5 minutes.
exactly.
All right, what do we got next?
Well, we're going back to Southern Tier.
Uh-oh, what do we got?
We have a caramel pumpkin Imperial pumpkin ale.
Really?
So this one is caramel, and it's 8.6%. This guy looks like he's a chef. He's got a whisk with stuff on it. It's a dude with that same evil looking pumpkin head, and he's got the chef hat on.
You want to give it a little...
Yeah, give it a little intro here.
It says 8.6 ABV.
Yep.
44 IBU, same as last one.
44.
Yep.
Okay.
The King's Magical Court flourished with the alluring addition of caramel pumpkin.
King. Yep.
Savor the magical aroma of spiced pumpkin pie, which probably should have tasted it with the first two,
Well,
as it unites with the sweet enchantment of caramel in each sip.
okay.
No matter how you celebrate the season, this brew is sure to leave you spellbound.
Huh.
All right, well.
So it's
caramel.
kind of, it's kind of cool that we did the pumpkin first.
Yep.
And then we're getting kind of variants
Okay.
on it to try it. So this is their caramel pumpkin. So
Ooh, it smells like a...
it smells sweeter.
Yeah.
You can smell the caramel. It smells like the little caramel, you unwrap them. It kind of smells like
gosh.
that. Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
This was in
Brother?
This was in the Bill Jones 6-pack, or was this
No, this was in Woodman's.
Okay.
Right at the front of the store. Brother,
wow.
This might be... This is...
The king is dead. Long live the king.
This is a good beer.
I like this.
Wow.
This is very good.
So and I hate to say this, kick me in the junk if I'm wrong. I don't taste as much pumpkin, but I taste a lot of caramel.
A lot of caramel.
Wow. I've never had a caramel.
So how do we rate it?
This is like super good.
Very good. See,
wow.
So...
Wow, that's...
Because you convinced me on the pepper one, but...
This is a good beer.
This is very good.
This is like... I mean, if the listener out there has never had even a craft beer, I'd recommend try this caramel.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This is like eating a caramel apple. I mean, this is like... It's not super sweet.
This is good. I mean, an 8.6, it does not taste at all.
This is like one of the, not the best beer. This is not Elijah Craig.
Wow. No.
But this is, I think we've had some very good beers today, haven't we?
Yeah. Can I go first? Or you go first.
This is your turn. This is your podcast. You can go first whenever you want to.
No, you go first. You go first because I'll give mine second.
I'm afraid because I gave a 3.9 to the pumpkin pie sour. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to go higher. I'm going to have to go 4.1. And my reasoning is I know that I told you that I couldn't taste the pumpkin.
Yep.
I do think I'm tasting some pumpkin, but the caramel flavor is so good. It's unbelievable how good that caramel is. It is almost like, this is what it reminds me of. Like if you're like a little kid and you're sticking your fingers in a caramel bowl and you stick them out and you put them in your mouth. That's exactly what this tastes like.
Yep.
It is so delicious. This is like got to be one of my favorite caramel or pumpkin beers that I've ever had in my life. I mean, I try not to say it too often. But this is a very good beer. For however we rated these, this is it's right towards the end, but it's still very good. 4.1 is my score.
I'm going to go 4.0. Ooh. This is the second best pumpkin beer I've ever had.
No way.
The first one was whatever we had, the one you had from last year.
Right.
That one, whatever the name of it was, the barrel-aged one was better. But this is unbelievable. This, like you said, again, the caramel flavor is more prominent than the pumpkin. But, oh my gosh, super smooth. It's got a sweetness to it. I have nothing bad to say about it. This is good. I like it.
So would you recommend this to anybody?
I would recommend it to anybody.
I mean,
anybody could try it.
This is going to be one of the... I mean, granted, we always talk about, for both of us, once you hit 4.0 in our scale, you're in...
Once you hit 4, I would say... Okay, so I think when you hit 4 in our scale, you're kind of like... That separates the men from the boys, so to speak.
Yep.
If you hit 4.5, you're in elite category.
Right, elite.
But a 4.0 is still... We haven't given out...
Many.
No.
And so just to clarify for the listeners, why do you keep that such a sacred territory? Why is it so important?
When we started doing this, and this is years ago, it was based on a 5-point scale. We said average is 2.5. The reason we put it at that was because, so if you have a good beer, you can go up, bad beer, you can go down.
Right.
But then the farther up the list it goes, the better the beer is.
Yep.
And when you look at basically like a bell curve, and I can show you on Untappd, you can get this data.
Yep.
It shows right around the 3 areas where ours, that's the high point, and then it starts to go down 2.5 to 3.
Yep.
It's just when you get into these higher scoring beers, it just means they're that much better.
So is it a good characterization to say if somebody looks at your scoring?
Yep.
When you rate a beer high, does that mean you're not like classifying them all high?
Nope.
The ones that are high are a good beer.
Oh yes.
Is that a good characterization?
Oh yeah, I would say for sure.
I mean, you're not just throwing them all up there to make them all happy.
No. Like I said, we're based on 2.5 as average, and you go up from there. At a 4 plus, you're getting into that
elite.
There you go, elite.
Because we just had one a few weeks ago, that Pappy Van Winkle that's
the highest beer we've ever rated.
Right, and if we would have been rating everything high,
it would have not stood out. If we would have done that beer would not have stood out.
So why is it important then that you do it like this?
Why we think it's important is because when you see that outlier, if you want to call it that really high beer, you know that it's going to be good.
Right.
And again, this is all based on our taste and our preferences.
But you do know, just for the audience information, in that little fridge over there is the last
You have another Pappy Van Winkle?
Pappy Van Winkle.
Well, that's gonna sit there for a little bit.
That is known to be around.
Okay, well, that's gonna be there for a little while.
So I don't know if we need to put it against anything or if we need to,
at this point, no.
But that is, I just wanted to make sure that people know that we don't get free beer. We don't get, and we're not biased for somebody's giving us, but we are trying to tell everybody how our opinion on what we taste and how good it is.
Yep.
Because we're on our last beer. We got one beer left.
But
I think that, did I get my score? I said 4.
you did.
4.1. So
again, this caramel pumpkin was very good. I liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, it is.
And again, the one knock of the whole thing was, we could use the same thing that we did with the pepper beer.
Yep.
But this one, the flavor is just so good.
Right.
I just can't knock it down,
I mean, Southern Tier did a great job. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I'm very appreciative for what they put into that because I got to taste it.
Oh, yeah. This is very good.
If you go to a bar right now, you can't find this flavor anywhere on any drink.
No.
Either if it's mixed drinks or if it's any bottled beer, you did a great job.
They did a great job.
Yep. So we're down to our
last
number
beer.
7. So we're
long story short, with the chickens, we got them all over there and they're happy now.
And unfortunately, Mike did not.
I didn't
do
have to
any
shoot
video.
one. I didn't. Yeah, and I didn't.
No
do a
video.
video.
No, didn't have to
do a video. But we said if we'd done a video, we'd had all sorts of
which would have been good for the podcast because then we could have showed people what we're doing.
Right. All right. So the last beer we have is the Kentucky Pumpkin Barrel Ale.
Pumpkin.
And this is by, if I remember right, Lexington Brewing.
Okay.
They have, the horse head is there. And this is 10% ABV.
Wow.
So this is the highest beer that we've had. Jimmy, we've had a number of their beers.
Yes.
And they're all barrel aged. For the most part, I've liked them all except for that honey one they had. That was horrible to me.
So this one says a barrel-aged ale brewed with Kentucky-sourced pumpkin, richly spiced with cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice.
Okay.
This robust, limited-release seasonal brew makes for a flavorful sipping beer to slowly warm up as the weather cools.
Okay.
It says it's 10%.
Yep.
ABV, tasting notes, brown sugar, pumpkin, cinnamon, nutmeg, pecans.
Pecans, huh?
And it says to pair it with roast beef, pork, and lamb.
Do you have any roast beef? That'd be a no? Okay.
No.
So we should be tasting pumpkin and pecans.
And nutmeg.
I mean, you can smell like the pumpkin spice. That's pretty smooth.
That's not bad.
No, that's smooth. I definitely can get the pumpkin.
Yes, there's more pumpkin, I think, than like the very first one. It had a lot of pumpkin.
Yes.
And this is probably the second most pumpkin.
I have to really think about how do I rate this compared to that caramel, because I think this has more pumpkin flavor.
Yep.
I have to decide which side of the pumpkin I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
so maybe for the audience, we could do two. How does it taste as a pumpkin beer, and how does it rate for the other
overall
against the other 6?
There you go.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
I agree. Yes.
We're limited by what you and I think. Right?
Yeah.
It's
not limited. Our opinion, and again, these are the only. Are you okay? What was that?
Down the wrong tube.
I was like, wow. What I was gonna say, folks, was, you're right, Jim. Let's when it's all we're gonna rate it just normal.
Then we can go back.
We'll go back when we do our summary.
Yep.
We'll do it that way because this surprises me, honestly.
So what's weird is I think I have much more of an aftertaste.
You need to Are you sure you got all of it out of that wrong tube? Because you sound like you got some more in there yet.
Isn't there an aftertaste though that's lingering on your tongue?
I don't really get an aftertaste on it. You should try it again because it's probably because it was in your breathing tube.
Something's on my tongue.
That would be when you were coughing up, I think.
Yeah. No, I mean we have had several Kentucky.
A lot of Kentucky from Lexington Brewing. We've had a lot of their beers. I've liked them all except for that honey barrel one.
Right.
That was
and I
horrible.
thought that was my best one.
That was horrible.
I thought that was my best one.
Jim, you scare me when you say that.
And usually they're all up close to double digits in their ABV. which is what we like.
Yep.
And this has a lot of flavor.
Yes.
I mean, this is, I think the hard part, it's an ale. And I think I do have a lot of pumpkin flavors coming through.
Yep.
Just don't know how it rates against these other ones. I'm going to leave it in your court for that one.
Yeah, it's the more I taste it, I still think this is probably, to me, it's like a 3.8.
3.8, all right. Which is still up there.
It's up there. It's up there. It does. I still think, based on just pumpkin flavor, this was right up there with the pumpkin lager, the first one from Lakefront, and from the sour.
Okay.
I mean, I think those were the ones that we got the majority, the more pumpkin flavor.
Okay. Yep.
But if I had to say of this group that I would recommend one for somebody to try, would still be the caramel. Even though I think the pumpkin got overshadowed by the caramel.
Yep.
I still think this is very good, and I'd go 3.8.
Yeah. You want 3?
I'd say 3.8.
I'm not going to go as high as you did. The hard part for me is, I don't know how to say it, but I think the pumpkin overflavors everything else for me. I wish they would have put a little bit of the spice that the other ones had in it. For me, I think that would have been a little bit better. It almost, not saying that it is, tastes like the squash. I know you're thinking about it. I don't know. Am I way out there or not?
When you were saying that, I kind of agree with you. I'm not going to say it tastes like the squash,
I think if they would have added a little bit of the spice, it would have cut.
Can I redo my...
Yep, you can.
Because you're right. The pumpkin spice part of it is not there.
Right.
And the pumpkin's there, but the pumpkin spice, the stuff that makes it taste good, is not there.
The pumpkin seems to bring it down. What do you want to do? I mean, because again, this is not...
Honestly, I'm going to go down to like a 3.4.
Yep.
Just because, and I apologize, folks, because like I said, it's just when he was talking about it, and I tasted it again, and you're right. I mean, to me, and I don't mean any disrespect, it's not a 3.8 beer. It needed a little more to it. It's still very good. Yeah.
And that's where, I mean, that's what we talked about. Kentucky always seems to have a very,
and I'm pretty sure every beer they have is barrel aged, right?
Yes,
I don't think they've had one that hasn't been.
No, I think they're all barrel aged, and they've all, from you and I both have said that they're always had a good flavor, even the one that was the honey one.
Typically I'm not a big honey beer guy, but I've had a couple recently that have been pretty good, but that one I didn't care for, But
overall, they've always had a good beer. And I'm not knocking it in any way. And that was my only thing. I think if they would have put a little bit of the spice, I think it would have really put this over the top to make it the best beer.
You are 100% correct, Jim. If they had made this a pumpkin spice barrel, I think it would have been way up there. Just pumpkin barrel, it left something to be desired.
And that's why I think it's an okay beer. Now, I think that's just my opinion.
Yep.
They could have put it over the top. I'm going to go with 3.2.
Okay.
So a little lower.
I went with a what? 3.4. Okay. Yep.
So do you want to wrap this one up, or do you want?
Yeah. Well, what would if you had to?
Well, once you got the list.
Well, here I'm going to give you a list because I already know.
Oh, so you already know which.
If there's two, I'm going to recommend two beers. The first one I will recommend is the Southern Tier Caramel Pumpking.
Spot on.
Yes, that's my number one.
Very good.
My number two, honestly, is the Pumpkin Pie Sour.
I know.
It's that.
Yep.
You're the same?
Yes. Spot on.
Wow.
Did you see? Our numbers are right.
Like I said, those two to me were the best flavor. The caramel one, had that sweetness to it. Very good. The sour totally shocked me for a sour. And that's.
Well, and I think overall, what do you think of pumpkin beers overall? Because we had the spectrum.
I like them for this time of year.
Yes.
I'm not going to be trying to seek them out all year long.
And I think the hard part too is I was looking for the one that we thought was the barrel aged one, and I could not find it.
So, Jim, what would your number 3 beer have been?
I believe
if you had to tell somebody, this is the third beer you should try, what beer would that? And I'm not even talking about your score. Which one would that? Yours would have been Warlock.
I think Warlock would have came out.
Okay, mine would have been Atomic Pumpkin.
Wow, you like the
I like the pepper beer. Yeah.
Well, and that's what's good for the listeners to know. So I think I am so glad that we had an opportunity to try. I mean, this was a good eye-opening experience.
Yep.
Trying a lot of different pumpkin beers, rating against different pumpkin beers.
Yep.
I hope you had as much fun as I did.
Oh, exactly.
Because they all,
for sure.
There's no clunkers.
Nope.
They all tasted good. They all were like super. I mean, keep up the great work, craft breweries out there. You guys are doing a great job. I appreciate what you're doing. I like what you're doing. It's just my scale. Don't think that my scale is the only scale. Just keep on brewing good beers.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's, a style of beer or something that you want us to try, let us know. Because I've heard, where there's some people want us to try some seltzers and that kind of thing. And we will. I think that we've got a number of beers already kind of in the pipeline. And we've got, like I said, when we moved, I realized how many stouts I had in the basement. So we're going to be doing some stouts and such coming up. Whatever, if you guys find beers that you think are unbelievable, let us know. Send them to us.
Send us a message.
Yeah, send us a message. And if we can't find them, we'll let you know. And, maybe we can have you send one to us to try.
Or we might even try to get them to join us in a tasting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
right?
that would be.
We're not exclusive, right?
No. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, like Jim said, if you want to join us, let us know. We would love to have you come with. And, we've had a number of people on here already, but we'd love to have other people to join us on a podcast and try beers. And the more the merrier.
We appreciate everybody listening. Keep drinking good craft beer, and we will talk to you again later.
And as always, we hope that your campfires are always warm and your beer is always cold. Thank you for listening to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. If you have a question, a comment, or a beer you'd like us to review, please feel free to send us a message at northwoodsbeerguy@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're on Untappd, look up Northwoods Beer Guy and send a friend request. Until next week, I hope all your campfires are warm and all your beer is cold.